Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL. I am Tasis, and with me is Artosis.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. We've already gone through 6 days of the GSL, and I am very excited for day number 7, man.
I am so glad to finally be back, man. I don't know even what did I do this week. I think I just slept waiting for the GSL to come back, and we have some great matches to come back to.
Well, all I did this weekend was play Starcraft 2 and try out a lot of the strategies that we saw here today.
Make many BCs?
I made some BCs. I did a little bit of BC stuff. It turned out to be actually as effective as it looked in these games. There is also, I believe, a patch coming out soon as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that how that changes the way the tournament's been going. But look, for today's games, I think we got some very cool matches. We're slowly running out of Zerg players, though.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot left. Possibly 2 will get through today. At least 1, because we have our first ZVZ and probably our last ZVZ of the entire tournament. Yeah,
we're finally going to have a ZVZ. It's literally been 6 days, 5 of which had best of 3s, or 4 best of 3s, and we did not see a single Zerg versus Zerg. So this is going to be really interesting. Zerg versus Zerg can come down to Banelings. There is some Roach Muta strategies, but it's very Baneling intensive early. And by the way, what better player to have in a Zerg game than the Wind, an old school StarCraft 1 player?
Yeah, and that's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah. The Wind is actually quite a good ZVZ player.
Yeah.
But let's get back to that later and talk about our first match.
Sure.
Any Pro Prime against next Hansin.
This is going to be a pretty sick matchup. It's one of these matchups we've been seeing a lot with Protoss against Terran. So I got to say, I expect to see, as we've seen in many different strategies in that matchup, maybe something new here as well. Here's the match results from day number 6.
That's right. TLO going through, Check Prime going through, Hyperdub sneaking his way past Oswera, and Just Fake Wera really crushing the soul of ESC Jung.
Yeah.
One of my favorite players to watch, but, there you have it.
By the way, to check out the games from TLO, the little one, that's that game at the top.
Yeah, game 1 against Lucira was quite good. Lucira actually, it makes me sad. I think he's actually one of the highest skilled best players in the entire tournament. But between TLO's ownage and all that, he was knocked out.
And we also saw some sick dropping of a Marauder on a bunch of Banelings to destroy him. Here's the brackets for today. Day number 7, Any Pro Prime versus next Hansin. David versus next Genius. OGS The Wind against Miso Zenith. And Gerard Prime against Clyde. Clyde also one of the favorites here at the GSL.
Yeah, Clyde, he's in the SCV life with Tester and Cool, so obviously a very good player, and his race is Terran, so obviously he's gonna own up, man.
Yeah, I mean, Terran's pretty good right now, so I think it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to get our map lineup here in a minute. And by the way, it's been really exciting to see how many people are actually showing up here in the studio.
Yeah, I mean, we have quite a few again today. Yeah. Not quite as much as we had on Friday.
Friday was packed, actually.
Friday was TLO day, so of course it's going to be completely filled with fans.
Right. I've already used up my TLO advent calendar. I'm going to have to wait until the next time he's playing again. But, we've had a lot of people coming down here. If you guys want to come down to the GOMTV studios, you're welcome to do it. It's free. Okay.
And it's awesome. You get to meet us and watch some good StarCraft. I can't imagine a better use of your time in Seoul, South Korea.
Yeah, that's the greatest gift of all is to see us in person. So we're nice guys. Come down to the studio. It's near Mokdong Station. I believe there's directions on the site. There should be, yeah. There should be. There's not already. We were informed that there would be. So, come check it out. And, of course, our finals will not be here in the studio. Our finals will actually
be in a big place, man. It's
some
going to be
crazy
huge,
place.
Yeah.
Probably, football field or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somewhere insane. So, also, thanks to our sponsors, by the way.
TG Sambo and
TG
Intel.
Sambo, yes.
And, of course, Blizzard and GOM.
Yeah.
All these guys coming together to make this tournament occur.
These guys love esports, and we really, this whole event wouldn't be here without the sponsors, so please support our sponsors. Now, for the map lineup here, we have, let's actually talk about the maps they eliminated first. Any Pro Prime, Protoss player, eliminated Steppes of War and Delta Quadrant. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Any Pro is the better player here. Any Pro's a really, really great Protoss player.
Yeah.
And taking those out, the Delta Quadrant, I don't understand 100%.
Yeah.
But
It's interesting.
Steps up Roar, I do understand that. You do not want that really quick rush distance. People can push across that so fast.
All right. We have time now to introduce our first player, Annie Pro Prime. Of course, the team Prime just dominating in this event. They're a very large team. They only have 4 players in their player house. They're working towards getting a bigger one.
That's
and
right.
in fact, I totally forgot to mention this in previous casts. Prime is actually run by one of the former GOMTV casters.
That's right.
Juno.
Yeah.
One of the other gentleman that wears the glasses. If you guys have watched the Korean cast, he runs Prime.
He does,
and he takes good care of those players, and he is very excited for the future of Starcraft 2.
Of course, it's going to be huge. But let's talk about any pro for a moment here. Definitely the best Protoss player in Prime. I think pretty much everyone would agree to that.
Yeah.
He's actually been one of the top Protoss players in Korea since the beginning. He's been right up at the top of the ladder, been doing very well in tournaments, and definitely a great Protoss player. I see him taking down Hansin in this match.
Yeah, I think Hansin's got his work cut out for him. Next is another high-level team, though.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Oh, absolutely. Next, great players in Next team.
It's really exciting to see these Korean teams get down here, as well as these non-Korean teams get down here. For instance, Hydron, UG with me. But to see all the teammates work together to get these guys through. And here is our Terran player next, Hansin.
Yeah, Hansin, he's been up pretty high on the ladder and everything, but I'm just not as impressed with him as I am with any pro.
He looks a little spooked.
Yeah, man. Wow, okay.
I see dead people.
Someone's nervous. And again, this is going to point towards any pro
of a killer, man. It looks like he should be wearing a straitjacket. We have a very interesting player here, and he's doing it again. You know what this reminds me of is actually that, remember Flash? Before some of his games, he get that twitch with one of his eyes.
Is the most twitchy guy, but
maybe we're getting something similar to this, where he's turning it on. Maybe he doesn't know the camera's on him, and he's just going over his build. A lot of pressure on some of these players here. This guy looks like a killer. I'm curious to see these two players, both the same age, by the way, duking it out.
Chingus, man. Chingus.
They're Chingus. That's friends, same age in Korean.
Yep. And, Hansin, a good player in his own right, but I don't know. The best Prime Protoss, I feel like he's definitely top 4 Protoss in Korea.
I think so.
Pro Prime.
Yeah.
Played with him many times. Played with Hansin many times. It feels like Any Pro's on a completely different level. So that is my prediction, at least. Any Pro taking this down.
Any Pro is pretty sick, and he's been getting a lot of help from the Prime team. He said specifically he's been training with Maka a lot. So Maka is easily. I think, in fact, it's completely fair to say he's probably the best Terran right now.
Yeah, there's a good chance
in
of
Korea.
it.
So, guys, we're going to get the maps on the screen next here, and then we're going to get this game going.
Yep.
Our first map is going to be Scrap Station. Scrap Station PVT.
We've had a lot of PVTs on Scrap Station, I have to say.
And a lot of different play styles on that as well. We saw some battle cruiser rushes coming from Terran. 4 barracks Marine rush is coming from Terran. And what's interesting to see when you see all those games is that those rushes have all been quite effective. I mean, it's not like, we see something go, oh, we learned from that. You can't do that. It seems like there's just a lot of rush options for Terran. They can tear right through the rocks and do that. And here is our maps.
And let's go ahead and look at the maps. Next, Hansin took out Desert Oasis and Delta Quadrant. So neither Protoss nor Terran wanting to play Delta Quadrant. And, of course, not a great map for Zerg players as well. Kind of interesting to see them both take out Desert Oasis. It's just a map people don't like to play. So we have Blistering Sands as the second set. Xel'Naga Caverns as the third. And, a pretty good map pool. We haven't seen a whole lot of TVPs on Blistering Sands, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, the only thing about Blistering Sands you got to watch out for are rushes where they can tear down the rocks and get into the back of your base. So sometimes that does require different build orders. We do see one basing a little bit more common on that before they get the expansion up here. And, of course, Xel'Naga Caverns, it's a one-on-one map, so we could see some crazy strategies, some proxying or something like that. You can see that on Blistering Sands as well. Actually, interestingly enough, I guess all 3 of these maps are one-on-one maps.
They certainly are, but all of them are going to play completely different.
Yes.
Blistering Sands, 2 entrances, Xel'Naga Caverns, very small main bases, but a very open natural. And Scrap Station just so far unless you kill those rocks.
Yeah. It's really, really, they're all awesome maps. And I can't wait to get this going. Both of our players have confirmed that they're ready. And we're going to get this going momentarily here. I got to say, the tension's on. Neither of these guys looks completely calm in the booth. So let's see if nerves get to them.
Hansin, man.
All right, let's do this. The countdown has begun.
Last one to load, Tasteless.
I'm the last one to load yet again.
You are always so slow.
I got the slow computer. Okay.
Looks like we're going to look at any Pro Prime. And he's not mining, so it looks like we're going to have a restart of this game.
Okay, what is happening? What is happening? What the hell is going on?
This is a very bad strategy opening by any pro.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, it looks like there's definitely some sort of problem here, whether it be hardware or other. And I'm 100% certain. The keyboard is apparently not working.
Keyboard apparently very important in StarCraft. As you can see here.
Yeah, there's a good chance someone had the hotkey setup change. This actually happened to me in a tournament recently. Someone had it on grid hotkeys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could not figure it out for about a half hour, and then I was like, oh, I better check that, and it was on grid. So
we're going to have to buy some time here. This is what Tasteless and Artosis do best, is fill air. We're going to have to restart the game, that happens. This is one of the things about esports, is that the vehicle is obviously through a computer or, PlayStation or an Xbox. So technology isn't perfect, so stuff like this can happen. But fortunately, it looks like we're going to get this restarted pretty quickly. So I think we're just waiting for them to make the game here for us.
That's right. I hope that they can fix his keyboard pretty quickly here.
Me too.
I really am looking forward to this match.
I was pretty amped to start this thing.
Yeah,
so.
Another Scrap Station TVP. I really want to see what next Hansin is going to do on this map. I loved the Pulp Prime build.
Yeah.
And then the match with Tester in it, he actually got run around with those drop ships, and Terran player ended up having the wrong arm composition, didn't run his drops back. We've seen a lot of really strong Terran play on this map against Protoss, so if any pro is going to drop a map, I feel like it's definitely going to be this one.
Yeah, I think so. And late game PvT on this map can become so difficult because you're both expanding in the same direction, but you said, drops can become very significant.
Yeah.
We haven't seen too much usage of the island actually in this matchup, and I kind of expected that to play a bigger role.
It's very APM time consuming to take an island.
True.
When you think about it. You have to set up turrets and stuff like that, or it can be destroyed very, very quickly for how much effort you put in to actually set this base up.
That's true.
It's not one of these land bases that are just like naturally in your line of vision. You can just rally probes there. You can send probes there.
Yeah, they're just not as accessible, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's very difficult to actually take the time to set up an island base. But yeah, I would definitely love to see some more of those.
Yeah, I think we could have some really sick openers actually, especially for a Terran player.
Yeah,
you could float the command
float
center,
over there with some SCVs
maybe do
in
some
it.
Viking harassment, keep them matted in their main. I mean, it's not like the Colossus isn't used in PvT. But we'll have to see. Any pro team obviously has some kind of plan here for that Prime is mapped out for them to do. And so far, the Prime team has done a magnificent job of working together to produce good strategies. We have not been informed yet as to what exactly the problem was. We don't know for sure if it's the keyboard situation.
The guy actually did type in the game it was keyboard, so...
Oh, he did? Okay, all right.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I was scrambling there. All right, so it is a keyboard problem. Hopefully we'll get that fixed.
Yeah, that should not take too long unless they're messing up with the grid versus actual standard hotkeys. It does happen from time to time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like the game has been hosted.
The game has been hosted, and we are...
now they have
a monitor problem. They're rebooting the computer now.
Okay.
So
now we know what's wrong at least. And
don't have to panic anymore. I get my inhaler out. And
yeah.
All right, I'm all right now. So sit tight, guys. I also have not been invited into the game, so let's see here. Let's try to get that in there now.
It's all right. Artosis got your back.
Artosis got my back. Thanks for saving my back, Artosis.
Yeah, no problem.
We're out here in Seoul, Korea. Myself and Artosis have been out here for over 2 years working in the esports industry. It's really exciting to be in an event like the GSL for Starcraft 2. And, it's a real honor to be down here casting for you guys. We hope you guys are enjoying this. Please, feel free to show your love to GOMTV on the forums. You do have to register, but definitely do that.
It's definitely worth registering at GOMTV.net because you can leave questions. We do interviews after each match with the winner.
Yeah.
So you leave any questions during the game, and someone picks out a few of those. I call you out, give you some props for the question, ask the question, and there you go. You're a part of it.
And suddenly you're E-famous.
Yeah, that's it, at least for a moment.
At least for just a little bit.
You have a VOD of me saying your ID. So.
And it looks like they're having trouble getting my computer now in here to join. Let me try again. I might have to actually re-log in here. Artosis, fill some air for me.
Yep. Well,
I have to log out and log back in, it looks like.
Right there. Okay. Anyways, this matchup should be pretty good. Nex Hansin, very highly ranked on the ladder. A good team, Nex is. Nex and Prime, two of the very, very top teams with OJS, TSL. I believe Ware and Zenith seem to be a little bit below them, but catching up pretty quickly. But Prime, so many players. I can't wait to see who has more at the end of the day in the top 32. Is it going to be Prime? Is it going to be OGS?
Yeah, I'm really curious because these are the two competing forces that are slowly climbing up to the top. Okay, we had some problems with my computer. I'm now in the game. So now we're just waiting for the player to join the game, and we'll start this thing. And hopefully that'll be pretty soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Run out of stuff to say here. Guys.
I know something we can say.
Go.
Anyone who hasn't seen it yet, check out the TeamLiquid.net forums. There is a new post.
Oh, my God. Yeah, this is
about
good.
a new mineral boosting strategy.
Yeah, this is insane. This is totally game-changing.
Yeah, it's completely game-changing. You shift-click with the return cargo button and telling it to mine, and you actually mine 7% quicker before your patches are completely saturated, which would be 3 miners per patch.
This is earth-shattering news.
This is huge, especially for Zerg, because the other races oversaturate and get up to these 3 probes, 3 SCVs, etc. per mineral patch, and then this no longer helps. But Zerg always stays right around the bare minimum, 16 to 18 drones on the patches because they make drones in rounds to send in new bases. You don't ever overproduce before that. So this is actually something huge
this is a
and
feature
game
that
long.
Zerg can utilize. I mean, unless Blizzard does something to change
everyone will be able to utilize it.
Yeah, but Zerg especially will be able to utilize it.
It's going to be very useful all game for Zerg. As long as you have the APM and time to do it, it's going to be huge.
Okay, we're still waiting. Any Pro Prime in the game, so clearly there's a problem with Nex Hansin's computer. Hopefully that gets fixed pretty soon here. So the computers, I guess, might take longer to reboot or something. It was a peculiar situation that we haven't really experienced something quite like that before here at GOMTV. So just sit tight, guys. We'll get this started as soon as possible.
They're not going anywhere. They set their alarms.
We locked them in those booths and stuff.
Yeah.
So the key, they don't get the key back until one of them types out GG. So
of course.
All right. Another interesting thing about NE Pro Prime is that he is really well known for his great stalker usage. He's got solid stalker control. That's his favorite unit. And I'm curious if we're going to see some of that in this game. PvT, a matchup where there's so many different things the races can do to each other.
Yeah. There are so many build orders, and a lot of Protosses, I feel like, aren't using exactly the best build orders that they can.
What do you think?
Tester pointed this out, that he can still expand very, very fast and hold things off with the right unit composition, the right micro, the right force fields. So, that's something I think a lot of Protosses
have been one-basing lately, especially on the ladder.
They get scared of these early ladder. But it looks like we're about to start.
Oh, thank God.
Let's get going.
We're going to do this. Let's go. Right now. Go.
I promise you that we're starting.
There we go. NE Pro Prime here.
Top position on Scrap Station.
And down here at the bottom right.
Nex Hansin.
Next Hansin.
Next
and you
Hansin.
might look at that and say, Hansin? It's Hansin. No, in Korean, any S followed by an I is sh.
That's true. So that's how they say it, Hansin. Now he's got an SCV rallied right over here. He's going to make a depot, it looks like, here. Scrap Station, the map, a little bit larger ramp than what you'd normally expect.
Yeah, it's 2 ramps wide, basically.
Yeah.
So, you need 2 very well-placed force fields to stop anything from coming up. And we've actually seen a lot of people mess that up so far, which is, a little bit surprising.
Both these guys over 300 APM on average right now. So starting out very fast, much like a Starcraft 1 player. And as you can see, standard openings for what we can expect, at least at this point in time. No proxy, anything, nothing too out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and I don't think we will see too much of that. Maybe a random cheese thrown in by one of them. But I think from any pro, we're going to see pretty much straight up play completely. That's something I've noticed from him. A lot of Protoss players love to cheese in the Korean server. So much cheese there. But any pro, a very, very straight up player, loves macro games. So I think we're going to definitely see that style here. I think he's going to be very, very confident in his play.
Here we see the first probe moving out. And he is going to be scouting his opponent first. Interesting.
Very late scout by Terran. Oftentimes we see Terran and Protoss scout at the exact same time and high-five through the center of the map. Or maybe it's just a quick scout by the Protoss.
And it looks like we are going to have the probe SCV high-five. Clap.
Well, probes don't have hands. They kind of have like these...
You got to do a shoulder bump.
Yeah, that's about it. Or like one of those nods that like cool guys give to each other. It's like, just, yeah.
What's up? Sorry again for the technical difficulties earlier, guys, for getting these games started a little bit slower. We're happy to be doing this now.
And, yeah, look at that. A Marine out. Already kills a scout. Second barracks going up with a reactor. So he's already seen 2 barracks, 1 with a reactor. Pretty interesting.
And, you know what? Is your computer the observer? I don't know why they did that. Okay. Looks like Artosis' computer is the observer.
That is why you've seen just such random stuff.
Looks like they rerouted that into your thing. So you're going to be observing now, Artosis.
I'm going to be observing everybody. I hope that you like my observer
I'm sure we're getting crucified right now on the internet.
I know. They're like, LOL, what are they talking about?
All right, so Artosis, it's time for you to observe.
That's right. All right, we got a tech lab over here. And if we go over here, the SCV should never, ever, ever die to a Zealot. Realistically, you need a range unit to catch it. Going through that chrono boost on the warp gate. Very, very standard play.
And this is probably the most common build we see.
And he waits till the SCV leaves. It's a very, very good lesson for people at home. The robotics going up at that time. Now, if we look down here, Marines coming over. Stim is being upgraded. And a Reaper being made as well. So, I kind of like this positioning, Tasteless, of these 3 Marines here. He can stand near the smoky area, and just as units are trying to go, or scouts, just pick 1 or 2 off and run away. So I like it. More units coming to join.
Reaper is still out now. Double barracks, not uncommon here. We have seen some players try to destroy the rocks.
And some sort of a variation of the Zadok build here. A very early alpha build of StarCraft 2, where you just make 2 barracks, 1 with reactor, 1 with tech lab, and just Marines, Marauders, and attack. But definitely a variation as we see this Reaper going up. And I think what we're going to see here is the Reaper jump up, try to snipe this off, and my great move right there. And it looks like any pro may, in fact, be in trouble here.
This is a really nice rush here. The Reaper can take out his sentry so quickly. Oh, very nice. Oh,
nice,
my God.
Pro. Any pro, though, with good mind. Oh, no!
He's going to the back. He's getting some probes, but he does deflect that eventually.
This Stalker took a lot of damage from these Marines, and Stim almost done now. Looks like another Zealot coming out, and any pro is in trouble here. He does have the Immortal coming out, though, and that should be able to help. It does do 20 damage base.
All right, now if he can just get rid of this Robo-Bay before the Immortal comes out, but even then, I don't know if there's much the Protoss can do. This is such an interesting rush. The usage of the Reaper, not normally in this way. Normally we actually see the Reaper come. Oh, he's got Stim, not just in time. He's going to get the Immortal.
Immortal taking so much damage. Down it goes. And the last Stalker going down. Nice surround there, though, getting rid of some of the Marines. And it looks like any pro is going to be able to end up holding this off.
Yeah, he does not have the grenades done just yet.
Hasn't even started them, in fact, by the production tab. But he has started Command Center, so that's actually a little bit scary. Looks like he's going to be able to expand behind all this pressure, while any pro loses a lot of probes. Look at the units, 27 against 27 in the worker count.
And if these grenades ever do come, he's going to have to stop getting zealots here. This is a really nice timing rush. But as we were saying earlier, the Reaper never normally used just to take out the sentry in a timing rush like this. That was just very impressive.
Yeah, that was super cool. And he microed against the zealots. Everything about it was really neat. And more zealots being made, but, you know, stim kiting so good against these zealots.
Very impressive play here. And you know what? I don't know if he's going to be able to stop this because, you know, as with the warp gates done, he can actually damage all these units as they're coming out. That might be one of the only disadvantages about having a warp gate. You're going to have to warp them far away, and instead he's warping them in right in front of the Marauders.
And in fact, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Tasis, but it looks here, I mean, very damaged units, but any pro has taken just so much damage. You think there's any way for him to come back from this?
There's not. GG.
No, I guess not. Once you leave the game, that's it, man.
Wow, what a game.
That was
as crazy as he was in his play as he looked in the booth before the game started. That was very impressive play there. By the way, guys, we're sorry about the screen thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we
were not informed about that. We did not know. I guess you know what probably happened is I guess the tech guys saw that I hadn't been able to log into the game for some reason because this computer's been having problems.
Yeah,
they probably
sense.
just rerouted it to there, but we didn't know about that. So we're very sorry. We'll meet with them briefly during our break. I'll let them know we need to know about that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go into game number 2 here. Really nice rush by Terran. Really nice.
I liked it, man. He kited a lot. I think any pro he made a mistake with that first Stalker. We saw it on a move command. He really panicked about the Reaper.
Yeah.
Moved the Stalker, took a ton of damage, and really you need to keep your Stalkers alive. You need to make more Stalkers. He ended up having to make a lot of Zealots. Those things can be microed against so well with Stim. I mean, if you just Stim, you can kite them all day long.
You know what's interesting is the sheer strength of that rush. They went one of the longest distances you can walk on any map.
Yeah.
Scrap Station, if you don't destroy the rocks, you're very far away. So that rush can work on a lot of maps, probably even better if you're close. Okay, let's get this going.